Okay, so I want to talk about the current opportunities that Mara stock and Bitcoin are presenting for some swing trading, some investing, potentially some short term trading as well. Now, everything I'm going to say, please remember, guys, it is my own personal opinion. I just like to share with you guys what I am doing. And please do your own research and due diligence. But it's been a while since I've uploaded. If you guys are on the Discord, I'm active on there. I'm talking with you guys. But if you guys aren't aware, there is some big changes coming to this channel and how I'm doing things. One of them being this new luxury high-rise condo, which I'll get into more in a little bit. The Corvette we recently got for the channel, and there's gonna be some more stuff on that soon. And then the actual primary, what we prioritize, which is trading, what we're looking for, how we can take advantage of the charts. Um, that's all going to change as well. So towards the end of this video, I will give you guys much more detail on all of these topics. But as of right now, let's continue forward. So let's start off first on Mara stock, because this is getting a lot of attention, and I want to talk about it, right? Because the invalidation point has finally happened. Now, we can't be upset about it. Um, it was, for the most part, pretty much as close as possible to being guaranteed that we were eventually going to break below the yellow SL line. It happened sooner than I thought it would, but this is good. It opens up more confident trades coming up. Now, with that being said, during this year, we've had incredible swing trade potentials, and I called them out all ahead of time. Now it's time for a shift of structure. So what I mean by that is that early this year, a lot of you have been following for since last year. We had a really good accumulation opportunity with take profit value gap. We can just say an average of like 35% on that trade. We had another opportunity averaging up to take profit on this extension area, another 35% roughly. Just depends on how everyone took advantage of it if you decided to follow along. And then most recently, we had a opportunity to take advantage of another one, and there was a lot of negative feedback. This one was also roughly 35%. There was a lot of negative feedback saying that over $20 Mars stock is insane. But then I kept saying that, well, until this uptrend is invalidated, I'm looking for higher prices. But the moment we break into take profit territory up here, it's a time not to be greedy and just to start locking in profits, because we can reverse out of this and revisit discounted levels very easily. And we did. So now, to go forward on what we're looking at now, present time, and then throughout like the rest of this year as well. So, if you guys remember, I don't remember exactly when I drew this. It was around New Year's. I think it was before New Year's. It was probably still in 2024. But I gave you guys this purple line factoring in the bigger picture. Since the Bitcoin bull cycle started this time around, we're already like at the end or near the end, but we'll get into that in a moment. I kept saying that I would like to see, now Mara stock has this reputation. Before we jump into like what really matters right now, context is very, very important. So on the bigger picture, wait, one day isn't enough. Let's do the 1 month candles. This will be perfect. So due to, of course, and people think it's negative, but let me just give my opinion on something real quick. If Bitcoin keeps making these higher highs every cycle, but Mara stock is making lower highs every cycle, and how can we approach that way? Where everyone says like, okay, well, they keep liquidating the shareholders. It's a terrible stock. Well, you got to remember that this isn't just a stock; it's a company. So if we keep this in mind as we continue trading going forward, now this is still very much possible. The 45 to $65 range is very possible, but I would just not be hopeful for it. Just because it's gonna depend a lot on whether or not Bitcoin has started the bear market. But it doesn't really matter on what I'm looking going forward. This is pretty much, it's not invalidated, but it's not worth paying attention to. But if you understand that Mars stock is a company that needs to prioritize growing. If you have, basically where it gets its income, the inflation rate is get cut in half every Bitcoin's halving event. Well, they need to really, really ramp up as much as possible their GPUs, their production, increasing their hash rate. They need to do all of this. And what's better than taking on debts where they have to pay interest for is, issuing more shares. And this is going to keep them alive in the long term as long as they continue to prioritize growth over pleasing the shareholder. So yes, Mars stock as of right now doesn't seem like a great long-term investment 10 plus years from now. Because right now everyone's freaking out. Its history has basically been going down, but their hash rate, the amount of Bitcoin they're actually holding on to, and they've been a lot of the promises they've made in the future, they keep meeting those expectations very well. So as long as this company stays operational, that's all that matters. But now, with that being said, going forward, we haven't actually reached an ideal top that will be 45 and up for the bigger picture lower high cycle, but it doesn't have to happen. So what are we looking for right now, right? So we broke, so again, I keep saying the reason I call these red accumulation areas is because it is a chance to accumulate, not buy heavy. We need confirmation for it to go higher. In this case, we had confirmation right here where we were in the accumulation. We had a pump up and then a higher low. We didn't know this was a higher low until we got confirmation. The moment the price broke below the swing high, we got confirmation. And the idea is that the majority of the trade profits, we want to be able to capture everything above the swing high, right? We're not here to perfectly capture whole move. We're here to capture as much as move as we can realistically get after confirmation. So now, if anyone was accumulating here, hopefully you guys had an SL, because that's the whole reason SLs exist. It's a stop loss, is to prevent you from losing much, and it's supposed to conserve your capital. So it happened. It was eventually going to happen. It happened sooner rather than later. So how can we take advantage of this? I've been updating you guys a little bit on Discord, but let's clean things up a little bit. Let's clean things up. Let's take away the extension, because this was being very aggressive. We had like a 3-wave move, got canceled out, so it wasn't a complete 3-wave. It was actually a continuation with a massive 5th wave down. So what I'm looking for now is where can we realistically capture, because remember, this retracement is capturing the whole move. So where can we realistically look for a new opportunity to, begin buying? And as of right now, move is much lower. RSI is very much well overextended to the downside. What I'm looking for is for us to break below 100, or not 100, $10 once again. Trade below $10 would be ideal. We can see fluctuations on the way there. So what that means, and this is how I'm going to be taking advantage of this, because it's better for me to show you guys what I'm doing than to, give you guys a whole bunch of different scenarios. I'm just going to talk about what's most realistic to me. So as of right now, and this is most likely going to change because when the market opens next week, so this is an area of caution where we really want to pay attention to as of right now. But most likely, if the price keeps dropping next week, I will update it. But as of right now, if the price decides to pump up, we can see the RSI max out the upside very quickly. This can happen right around here. If it decides to pump now. Now, this doesn't mean I'm trying to capture longs now and hope that it goes up. The trend is still down. We're still making these smaller lower lows and lower highs. The momentum is still downward, very much so. And at this point, because we've surpassed this, the idea is that we can go ahead and revisit these numbers once again. Now, I mean, at the end of the day, anything below $10 for Mars stock, most likely in the bear cycle, this can drop all the way to $4. It absolutely could. But as of right now, what I'm looking for is revisiting these areas. If the price goes up higher, I am not interested in capturing any upside. Instead, if the price decides, and it most likely will, usually does, but I want to wait for confirmation. If the price decides to pump up from here, I want to see it break the 120 moving average before. This is on the 1 hour chart, by the way. What I am doing is that I want to wait for the price to, and it can do whatever it wants. It can drop down lower, or it can bounce. It can do whatever. I don't care. But in order for me to really want to take a trade on this right now, and as I'm waiting for this to happen, I'm paying attention to other assets as well. But when this decides, if it decides to go up, I am only interested in buying some puts. Expiration depends. I'll update you guys once that opportunity presents itself what my expirations will be for the puts. But as of right now, I'm looking for the price to break over the 120 moving average as the RSI maxes out. If that happens now, chances are we can see it max out somewhere around this range. I want to see this get hit while the price is above the 120 moving average and the RSI has been maxed out. It's as simple as that. As of right now, throughout 2026, potentially throughout the rest of this year, but throughout 2020, I expect sometime next year this stock will be well below $10 like it has in the past, and we can easily break below $5. It absolutely could happen. We are towards the end of this cycle. There is a lot of fear. If we have a lot of optimism, a lot of just euphoria or whatever in the markets, and we see this extend higher, chances are we will not break over the previous resistance, and it never really acted as support, and it will continue to act as resistance. I'm not expecting the price to break over this. That's way too much volume to the upside going over these retracement zones. Again, if you guys haven't watched previous videos, these retracement zones already factor in investor sentiment for you. And if you guys are curious, these are the ones I'm using specifically. But I'm looking to start shorting this stock somewhere here. I do not want to go long because the momentum is still downward, but it's as simple as that. I'm going to let this stock do whatever it wants to do because we finally broke over the invalidation point that was eventually going to happen, but we finally happened. It happened. So now my next trade on this stock, very simply, I'm not here to rush or force any trades. I want to see a corrective move up to factor in all of this downside. In this range, I want to begin to accumulate puts. Now, these puts can range on different expiration dates, but the idea is I want to start accumulating puts as we're below this ascending trend line, and the price is, goes over the 120 moving average a little bit and maxes out the RSI. I'm looking at puts for a continuation of the price to go lower and potentially revisit these prices down here as well. Now, this is a lot more realistic. This stock is not meant, at least at the moment, with, if you guys read their quarterly reports and all that, it makes sense for them to be at much higher prices, but due to the aggressive growth they're focusing on, a lot of that gets decreased. I'm not expecting the stock to really hold premium prices too much. If we for some reason go over $30 by the end of this year, it's a massive shorting opportunity. If you guys thought this was crazy, wait till you see what's coming in 2026. Let's see what happens, right? But as of right now, I'm looking to short within this area, and I have no intentions on any other trades besides that. Now for Bitcoin, if you guys are on the Discord, I've been accumulating Bitcoin. I was gonna buy some more today. I was waiting for funds to clear, but they didn't, so I'm gonna just accumulate next week some more. But I've been accumulating, some BTC exposure of IBIT throughout this purple zone because I say this in so many times, and actually every single time we revisit these short-term purple deep value areas that I color code purple, it's always been due to this one back here was red. I don't want to change it. I say this every time. It's supposed to be purple. But there was a lot of fear in the macroeconomic world. There's headlines all over the place. So we bounced right off of it. We had another purple. If you guys go back to this time, June, mid-June, this purple area was lower. We actually briefly broke into it. We weren't this deep into it. But there was a lot of fear in the macro. And then right now there's a lot of fear in the macro. There is a lot of bearish views on this right now saying okay, well, this is a very consistent downtrend. It doesn't really mean too much. There's been a lot of positive and negative news influencing this so much where I'm not even going to focus on any data that's coming out soon. I'm not going to focus on anything besides the structure itself. So it's quite simple. I've been adding to this IBIT trade. I am taking advantage of accumulating, and I plan to add another roughly. I'll plan to grow the position by another 25% of its own value. But I'm taking advantage of the short-term purple area because it's always been due to fear. Causing the price to come down so aggressively. Now, with that being said, though, I am not feared that the bear market has started yet, because the bear market starts regardless of what the overall market is doing. If we see the broad market like the S&P selling off, I mean, right now the S&P, in my opinion, looks like a really, really good buying opportunity. I'm just saying it's below the 120 moving average. We're quite discounted. It's been stabilizing. This wick on the hourly chart couldn't even break. The S&P is looking pretty good, and the VIX. I mean, it's getting ready to. It's been weakening. So if the VIX drops, you can see a pump in the overall market, potentially influence Bitcoin too. Because a weird correlation right now. I'm not gonna focus too much on like the forex factor of it, because it's gonna make this video way too long. But I mean, there's just a lot of signs that reversal is about to happen soon. The tech sector has been selling off like crazy. But then like we're just seeing a lot of them stabilize quite well. It's just time for it. So, with that being said, if the overall market has been weak, feared due to macro headlines and Bitcoin's falling at the same time, I don't know how you guys see this, but I see it as a no-brain opportunity for me to want to accumulate some, swing trade BTC exposure, right? And I plan to continue adding IBITs until we break above until we break over $107,000 again. I'm gonna continue every week. I'm gonna add like 5, 10K or whatever every single week. I'm gonna keep growing this position like crazy as long as we're below 107K, because I said in previous videos, everything underneath 120K is extremely attractive to me, and we haven't even reached the second fib. This is a very weak, I mean, the bear market, this bull market has been extremely powerful, but just on my own chart, not at least reaching the second fib line, this one at 128K, it'll be too underwhelming for this bull cycle. I'm still looking for 128K hits, next price target area. I'm going to continue accumulating IBIT underneath 107K. We are holding this purple area quite well, and when Bitcoin starts pumping, it starts pumping. If it breaks below 103,000, you guys better bet that I am going to be accumulating like crazy. Like Bitcoin underneath 100K, this next bear cycle, in my opinion, I need to do a video about this, but I'm expecting very low prices, potentially going into the 30s. This probably gonna be the last time we're ever gonna see Bitcoin underneath 100K during this next bear cycle. Rather not we recover back above it. It doesn't matter. The bear cycle will present a crazy, true DCA opportunity for everyone to get in throughout however long it lasts, a year and a half, 2 years, whatever. There's talk that it can be a short-lived bull cycle, which means if it's short-lived and we're still expecting to see over 50K drop, over 50% drop, chances are it's going to be a very, very quick, aggressive sell-off, and then either a gradual or quite quick recovery as well. There could be a lot of reasons to it, but I don't really care, because right now, my plan has always been, and even when we were back here, my plan has always been these purple areas. To me, I'm buying. I don't care what's going on in the macro world, the headlines or anything. I'm buying, and that's exactly what I'm doing. As long as we're below 107K, I'm going to continue to buy. It's as simple as that. And my overall price target is 128K for the next leg up. Now, let's say we want to get into more detail, right? We can always measure how strong or how likely a low is in. Like, if we can break over the 120 moving average, great. But the idea is that we want to continue to measure all of these. So I'm going to try to move them to the side as well. All of these dips, right? So all of these dips, and they kind of, every single one. So this one's roughly there. I'm going to factor in these two. The idea here is that we want to see a reasonable fluctuation to the upside. It's as simple, and then an overall one to show where a lot of it really matters. So I'm going to show you guys what this means as well. So because this already factors in investor sentiment, it does the homework for me basically. So what I want to see is, so within each of these, there's going to be another retracement following it higher. So we're gonna, this is how I am gonna keep doing this. So I'm going to look for these moves and then another retracement, however high this one goes, the same retracement, but we can either create a new one or keep using it. We keep following it higher. Every time the price decides to dip, what we want to see is this retracement continuing to hold and reaching these next zones. Now, I just created this for you guys, right? I just created this for you guys. So as you can see, every time we reach these zones, the idea is that we want to see Bitcoin hold above it. It can reach into it, but hold a higher low. This is an idea if at any point the overall support decides to fail, the one that follows the price higher, at that point it's a clear sign that, hey, we should reduce position sizing, because chances are it's just going to be a bigger picture, one of these where it's like a move down and then it ends up just being a big corrective wave and we go down and make another low. That can absolutely happen. So how can we prepare for that? It's simple. It's following the price, taking our time, letting the price do its thing, but following it higher with every single retracement, factoring in each of these moves. And now the cool thing about that too is that, say we go into the third wave up, right? So let's say we have a first wave up, second wave corrective move, third wave. Let's say the third wave comes out to 106K, right? So here's the bottom of it. It goes up to 106K. Now, at that point, where was the retracement? So at that point, 106K, basically right there. That means that it should hold above 98, but we'll say 98.5. These are measurement tools. Each time this happens, we can measure with an extension. It shows how likely that if the momentum continues to hold based on the amount of volume within the waves that I just tried to illustrate for you guys, it shows that the price can go higher. I've used this on Mars stock. I've used this on Bitcoin so many times, and like you guys can do your homework. Like 9 out of 10 times we got it, and every time there's early signs of weakness, it's the follow-up retracement that follows it, the trailing retracement or whatever you want to call it. The moment that breaks any sign of weakness can easily build up bearish volume. So I hope that made sense. And then of course, every extension we can create, once the extension proves itself, we can factor in the same one, but in the bigger context where we have a first, second, third, fourth, fifth wave, completing an overall first wave on what could be a continuation of this bull cycle, and then going anywhere between 128K to 150K. The bull market did what it had to do though, but it's still pretty weak. It's strong, but it's still very weak in my opinion. And that's mainly just, at the end of the day, it's mainly due to Bitcoin sell-off when there's a lot of fear in the overall broad market. So if there's fear basically in the broad US market and in Bitcoin, it's like, yeah, you bet I'm gonna be buying that fear. I hope this made sense. I am quite busy, so I'm gonna go ahead and tell you guys the what you can be expecting, right? So what do we got? So we got this. So I'm gonna go in every section. What I'm gonna be doing for the trades on this channel, I'm gonna talk about that last because that's the most important part. So we're gonna finish off on that. But yeah, this high-rise luxury condo. I should get the keys sometime next week. Right now it's Friday, November 14th. I believe I get the keys on the 19th or something like that. I'm just gonna repaint it, make it more my style. There's a lot of like renovations going on to make it look my style as well. There's gonna be a lot of really nice furniture. Just the place is gonna look really good and modern. Some really nice lighting, LEDs. Every piece of furniture, every piece of decoration and artwork that's gonna go in there, it's all going to be, it's gonna be creating this environment where it's all very consistent with each other. The colors are very consistent, contrast. Some places high contrast, some places low contrast. The idea is to create a very, very modern and clean looking area. Not just for my own motivation, my own, creativeness, but it's also to, have a better environment where I can record videos. And I wanted to start on this channel as well, showing some more of my personality in it, right? So doing a little bit more vlogs, just some day to day stuff, some more car videos. So this area, this high rise has underground parking, beautiful underground 3 levels deep garage. Um, the idea is that it's going to prevent an opportunity for me to show more of myself in this, some more of my personality in this channel, but then also have some more fun with the car and then show it off because I'm very proud of it, and I know it motivates a lot of you guys as well to stay focused and consistent, right? So this new place is going to really and it's been a dream of mine to own a high rise luxury condo, but I'm glad I'm able to do it in my early 20s because then everything else is just upside from here, right? That's what we focus on. So the idea is better personalized content. Now, um, what I'm also doing in the background, besides a lot of these documents and getting this place actually fixed up, is not fixed, but just customizing my style because the place is amazing. I paid for an inspection, and the place is outstanding. Um, So, with that being said, when it comes to the actual trading part of the channel, here's what I want to do. A lot of this will come in waves because I'm testing a lot of stuff. There's some new software I'm trying to play with, an extra Mac desktop. So I'm gonna explain to you guys why. So on this channel, we've been talking about Bitcoin and Mara pretty much always. I want to start talking about other assets as well because I trade quite often. I just don't show it on the channel because it's a whole lot and I don't know how to show it to you guys, organize it all in a way where I can stay consistent with doing updates on it. Discord will help a lot, but we're gonna, I'm gonna be talking about some more assets on this channel, some more frequent trade updates, not just 2 assets every day. There's gonna be more stuff to look at, some more S&P trades, some QQQ trades, pay more attention to the VIX, and then potentially throw some other cryptos on there, potentially even get into some spot crypto as well. But there's a lot, and then some other stocks too that potentially don't have anything to do with Bitcoin. I still want to talk about them, but prioritize Bitcoin, of course. Now, doing so, excuse me, on the Discord, um, because I can post updates on there a lot more frequently, although I still want to do it on YouTube. On Discord, and we're going to talk about live streams in a moment, I want to start adding new channels within the server where I can give you guys quick updates, right? Where you can get notifications on like what I'm looking at, what I'm thinking of, if I'm placing a trade, if I'm not, so it's gonna be a whole lot of stuff on there, and then it's just like I'm able to quickly every time I take any trade, I can quickly update it on there and tell you guys where I'm buying, where I'm selling. If you guys just want to stay updated on what I'm doing, so it's gonna be a better, more organized layout when it comes to what's going on there, and then announcements. So I want to start really publishing on there a lot of what I'm thinking of because a lot of my trading is also due to understanding just how the broad market is affecting any decisions I make. So announcements, trade alerts, all that stuff. It's gonna be a lot more organized. There's gonna be a lot more to talk about on there. And then when it comes to live streams, so there's more to the Discord as well. But I want to make sure I start pushing out some stuff first, make sure it's well and organized and there's no hiccups. And then when something's good, I can jump into the others. No reason to overwhelm everyone with stuff that may for some reason need to be modified and then I need to change something. So I want to make sure one thing is good and then I'll start throwing some others on there as well. But for the live streams are going to be like they were before. So on these live streams, I will begin to show my trades better because if you guys remember, if you guys have been watching those previous live streams, I did not know how to show my trades live. So what I plan on doing just to get the momentum started is a separate desktop, a Mac where I can actually do a 24/7 live stream so you guys can see my Bitcoin chart live all the time. So there'll be extra monitors just for the second desktop. But the idea is it will provide a 24/7 access to my Bitcoin chart. So basically this, and then I'm gonna somehow make it where I can show a notes app or make the font bigger or whatever. But the idea is that on Discord you can see me updating you guys on the transaction I'm making, what the P&L is, and all that stuff. and then every time I get a chance, I'll go on here. So it'll be somewhere on the side, or I'll change this the Bluefin Trading free Discord on the bottom, or something, or maybe move the Bitcoin price. But the idea is that somewhere I want to show like some kind of notes where I show my live positions and where my SLs are and where my TPs are, and then you guys can know if that the trade's live, and then if it got triggered, whichever order got triggered. So the idea is being able to show you guys. So it's gonna be simple, just notes most likely, at least at the start, until I can get more creative with it. But I want to be able to show you guys my charts all the time, do some video updates on the side and all that without interrupting, uh, so the computers don't interrupt each other. But the idea is you guys can see my trades live all the time, what I'm looking for. I'll also throw notes on here on like, hey, I'm looking for this to happen in order for this trade, for me to want to take this trade or whatever. So there'll be a lot more informative notes on here. So I'm working on organizing all that so I can make sure that's good. But yeah, we got a lot of good stuff coming up. Some more car videos, some more personalized vlogs, some more stuff going on with the Discord. So a lot of this stuff is gonna pop off soon. A lot of it's already ready. I just want to wait to get this place furnished, customized, making it look good, and then just getting it all going at the same time. So yeah, that's what I'm waiting on. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this update video, and I'll catch you guys on the next one soon. We'll see when the next one is. I really want to focus on getting more stuff done. But if not this weekend, sometime next week, yeah. I'll catch you guys on the next one, and take care.